Today our topic is how to handle failure like a Stoic. Life is full of ups and downs, and everyone faces failure at some point. It is a natural part of life, but how we handle it makes all the difference. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, teaches us how to deal with failure in a calm and rational way. Stoics believe that failure is not something to fear, but an opportunity to learn and grow. They focus on controlling their own reactions and attitudes rather than trying to control the world around them. This approach can help us deal with failure in a way that makes us stronger and wiser. First, let's talk about what failure really means. Many people see failure as something negative, something to avoid at all costs. But the truth is, failure is just a result that did not meet our expectations. It is not the end of the world, and it does not define who we are. Stoics believe that failure is a part of life, and that it is how we respond to it that matters. Instead of seeing failure as a disaster, we can see it as a teacher. It shows us what works and what doesn't, and it gives us a chance to improve. One of the key ideas in Stoicism is the concept of control. Stoics divide things into two categories: things we can control and things we cannot control. We cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond. When we fail, it is easy to feel upset, frustrated, or even angry. But these emotions do not help us. Instead, Stoics suggest that we focus on what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, and our attitudes. By doing this, we can handle failure with grace and learn from it. For example, imagine you worked hard on a project at work or school, but it did not turn out as you hoped. You might feel disappointed or even embarrassed. But instead of dwelling on these feelings, a Stoic would ask, "What can I learn from this? What can I do differently next time?" By shifting your focus from the failure itself to the lessons it offers, you turn a negative experience into a positive one. This mindset helps you grow and become better at what you do. Another important Stoic principle is acceptance. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes things do not go as planned. Instead of fighting against this reality, Stoics teach us to accept it. Acceptance does not mean giving up or being passive. It means acknowledging what has happened and understanding that we cannot change the past. What we can do is focus on the present and the future. By accepting failure, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and can move forward more easily. Let's think about a famous Stoic philosopher, Epictetus. He was born a slave and faced many challenges in his life. Yet he became one of the most respected thinkers of his time. Epictetus taught that we should not let external events control our happiness. Instead, we should focus on our own thoughts and actions. He said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This idea is powerful because it reminds us that we have the power to choose how we respond to failure. We can choose to see it as a setback or as an opportunity to grow. Another Stoic philosopher, Marcus Aurelius, was a Roman emperor who faced many difficulties during his rule. He wrote in his journal, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that obstacles and failures are not just problems to overcome. They are part of the path to success. When we face failure, we should not see it as a barrier, but as a step forward. Every failure teaches us something new and brings us closer to our goals. So how can we apply these Stoic principles to our own lives? Here are some practical steps to handle failure like a Stoic. First, when you fail, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, what happened? Why did it happen? What can I learn from this? By analyzing the situation, you can gain valuable insights and avoid making the same mistakes in the future. Second, focus on what you can control. You cannot change the past, but you can control your actions moving forward. Set new goals and take small steps to achieve them. Third, practice acceptance. Accept that failure is a part of life and that it does not define your worth. Let go of any negative emotions and focus on the present moment. Finally, use failure as motivation. Let it push you to work harder and become better. Remember, every successful person has failed at some point. What sets them apart is their ability to learn from their failures and keep going. Stoicism also teaches us to be resilient. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from failure and keep moving forward. It is not about avoiding failure, but about facing it head-on and not letting it defeat you. Building resilience takes time and practice, but it is worth it. One way to build resilience is to develop a growth mindset. This means believing that you can improve and grow through effort and learning. When you have a growth mindset, you see failure as a chance to learn, rather than as a sign of weakness. Another way to build resilience is to focus on the bigger picture. When you fail, it can feel like the end of the world. But if you step back and look at the bigger picture, you will see that one failure does not define your entire life. Think about your long-term goals and how this failure fits into your journey. Often, what seems like a big failure now will seem small in the future. By keeping the bigger picture in mind, you can stay motivated and not let failure hold you back. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of gratitude. Even in the face of failure, there is always something to be grateful for. Practicing gratitude helps us stay positive and reminds us of the good things in our lives. For example, if you fail at a task, you can still be grateful for the opportunity to try, for the lessons you learned, and for the support of friends and family. Gratitude shifts your focus from what went wrong to what is still right, which can help you stay motivated and keep going. In conclusion, failure is a part of life, but it does not have to control us. By adopting Stoic principles, we can handle failure with calmness, acceptance, and resilience. We can learn from our mistakes, focus on what we can control, and use failure as a stepping stone to success. Remember, failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of the journey. Every failure brings us closer to our goals if we are willing to learn and grow. So the next time you face failure, take a deep breath, remind yourself of these Stoic principles, and keep moving forward. Life is not about avoiding failure, but about handling it with strength and wisdom. As the Stoics teach us, it is not what happens to us that matters, but how we respond. Choose to respond with courage, learning, and resilience, and you will find that failure is not something to fear, but something to embrace as a teacher and a guide.